Hello world, this is Tamika Harper, also known as Georgia Me. And this poem right here is called, well actually this prayer is called Ground Rules. Men say I want too much, that I'm asking for perfection. That's too much responsibility just for an erection? Not just of your pineal gland, my orgasm at hand begins way before we hit the bed. Way before we get naked, it's in our eyes, how they speak. The bravery you allowing me to see you weak, we mutually meek, seek to achieve higher peaks than those conquered in between the sheets. Don't get it twisted. I want to be your freak, I just don't want to fuck a dummy. It leaves you so incomplete. My goodness is to be deserved, not based on time, but action. Not based on potential, but satisfaction. So simple to satisfy if you just comply with my simple needs, compliments, and consideration. Don't take much to feed the female ego. I'm full aware of the holes at every corner store and every form of tryst, but when you in my presence, them bitches don't exist. It's just about having regard for how I feel. I understand the appeal. I'm not blind. Even if I was, I would still feel the auras, the spirits, the energy so strong you damn near faint. You can always recognize nigga, but use some restraint. Let all your desire be for me. If you constantly looking for greener grass, then why should I be free? Free to love on you real good. Like on the hood of your car in the Publix parking lot. Freaking you whenever I get hot. Random fellatio on the spot. In a stairwell on your way to work. Screaming how good it hurts. Marathon love making sessions. Fuck my legs, my whole body jerks. Sensual seizures created by the manifestation of genius. Caucasian men popularize. But black men have mastered cunnilingus. I need it. I need it. It's a priority, the zenith to the female majority. Ain't nothing like it in the world. The flick of your tongue against my pearl, and you ain't done when I come. The fun's just begun. You don't even slack up until I'm on the run, sighing and moaning, pulling the sheets off the bed. Nigga, you know you got some fire head. But that's what keeps me twisted. You know you can't be resisted, and I'd be remiss if I allowed this opportunity to pass. It's hard to give this ass when I'm struggling for cash. See, I need a man who sees a need and meets it, delivers. Man of his word who keeps it sacred, holds me so high when I hurt he peeps it, never wants me to feel worried, scared, defeated, or depleted by the demons that dwell in attack. Always a killing season, especially when our joy and prosperity is detected. I need a man well armored, wealthy, because he's spiritually connected. It's reflected in the life he lives, the lies he doesn't tell, the smile he gives, the effort to know me well. I'm not asking for a fairy tale, but dreams come true. All I'm asking for, baby, is the best of you. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're now tuning into the very best. It's yours truly, Jazzy Fizzle, Fizzle, Fizzle. And this is Instinct Radio, man.
Instinct Radio has got.
Welcome back to Instinct Radio. This is the Dainhen Butler Show. What you heard prior to hearing Future is the one and only Georgia Me. How you doing this evening?
I'm fantastic. A little emotional, but I'm fantastic.
Emotions are good. Emotions are good. Tell us how you feel about love. How you feel about the topic. Let's see how you feel.
Well, I do feel like it's what you think love is. Love is providing. Love is caring. Love is respect. It's not just a feeling. I think that's what people get caught up in, the feeling of being enamored with somebody and being attracted. That's not love. Love is caring for, providing for, thinking about, considering. That's actual love. It's not just the TV movie crap that we get caught up in. You feel me? So when I was so disheartened because there's just no hope. You know what I'm saying? Like, how you gonna be committed? You commit to yourself and God. What was the point of getting married? I'm not talking about dating. And that's nothing. We don't really date in our community. I'm Southern to my heart, so I'm messed up. Because when I was 17, boys couldn't come to my house and blow a horn. No, on Sunday after church, you came and you met my family. So you knew who you was dealing with. We don't have that kind of respect and honor anymore. And I'm like, brothers, if the sister don't honor herself, honor her anyway. And if she can't get with it, leave. Honor yourself. A lot of brothers want to put it on women, but your self-esteem is very, very low. Because if you're going to treat somebody bad, that show you not feeling good about yourself. So when people say this person, the women like this, it's the women you choose and what you deal with. Sisters, if every man you choose ain't Shit, you ain't shit. You're allowing it. So we got to take responsibility and hold each other accountable. That's the problem. I'm going to allow your bullshit so I can have my bullshit. That's what go on in relationships. So no one is growing. When you talk about reading, my ex-fiance, I love you. Shout out to Sam. Fed me all the time. When you grow, I'm supposed to grow. You're supposed to teach and feed me. And any woman you're dealing with, it ain't about you growing. It's called evolution. You're supposed to evolve together. You're supposed to grow together and teach and learn. It's not supposed to be one person being better. That's not equally yoked.
Let me ask you this, though, because a lot of times, because this is what I hear, even at my generation. I was born in the 70s. And so at one point in time when the younger generations didn't do something, for a small period of time, I was like, y'all don't do this. Y'all don't do it. Like you said, like after sunlight. And a lot of our kids don't know where the church is at unless somebody got killed or something. So it's just like, we have a lot of traditions that we had. Like when you talk about the street light with some of us, I don't know how old Omar is, but sometimes, you know, when you say that to my daughter's 18, when you say that, she gonna be like, Daddy, what you talking about? So then in my mind, I'm just like, you know what, we say that these rappers are not doing this, or these men and these women are not doing this, and then I say, well, how can you blame these individuals if they haven't been exposed to that which you've been exposed to? And they don't have the privilege of, you know, having a big mama. Because right now, big mama, she at the club, or she used to dance at Blaze or something like that. You see, it's a different atmosphere. So in my mind, I say, how do you take some of the lessons that you've learned? How do you take your definition of love and not force it upon those people who have no idea what real love is, and do it in a way where it's acceptable to them? Is that something that can take place? Is it through art? Is it through continuous defining? Is it even possible?
I think so. I think that we are, first off, we Nubian. We children of God. Each one teach one. Be an example. People talk about Jesus. Jesus was an example. You are Jesus. You are Christ if you choose to walk in that light. Okay? And I don't blame a rapper for anything. I'm responsible for everybody in my community. It takes a village, and we own some BS. It's so many kids that I talk to, my house is constantly inundated with people. From age 10 on up to 75, coming to sit, talk, learn, and promote this agenda out into the world. You can only do what you can do, but you can do so much. And I don't blame it on rappers. I think we all can. We see somebody who ain't right, it ain't nothing wrong with having a discussion with them, and they don't have to go the way you want them to, but you drop that seed.
Period.
That seed is planted. So you don't know how it's gonna grow. You don't know when it's gonna grow, but know that you did what you're supposed to do. So my neighborhood is still a neighborhood. You understand me? I still borrow sugar, bump sugar. Miss Ada, I need a whole chicken tonight. This is what I'm saying. So people, when I don't live in that world, I create the world I want to live in. Do you feel me?
Yeah.
I live in love. I live in joy. All that. I'm never scared of being at war because we warriors. God don't want no punk soldiers. We warriors. What you think they're supposed to be easy? So I want to make who is prepared, who ain't scared. Brothers, I love y'all, but y'all so scary. You don't stand up for nothing. Our community should not be like this. It shouldn't. I'm sorry. It's that real. We around here talking about God and you walking around with fear. That's not of God. And then you get mad because a woman got all of this. What else I'm supposed to do when ain't been no men around for 3 generations? What y'all want? We ain't the damsels in distress. We're not white women. We ain't got no Superman. We super girls. It's just what it is. And we don't want it that way. I would love, God, y'all need to understand, I would love to be able to just fall back. I would love to, but that's not what God has ordained for us to do. So we need men who ain't scared of that at all, without feeling, look at how you sitting. I'm just saying. He's like, I'm just going to sit here because she look like she's going to bust me in my face at any time. I just want us to be so much grander. How we going to have mates when we are afraid of each other, when we don't stand up to each other, we don't hold each other accountable on our bull. We don't. We let it go. Men be like, oh, it's so hard out here. No, it ain't. Go get them hoes. The queens is waiting.
So do you think it needs to start with the youth now, or do you think there's a chance to change the way maybe the 18, 22, even 30-year-olds perceive relationships nowadays?
I think that they already do. I don't know who that is. I think they already do. I think that we don't have enough hope in our youth. What youth are y'all around? I'm around magnificent youth. I'm around young men who got it more together than the men who are in their 40s. I don't know the ratchet.
How do you deal with it. Give them hope. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, but those are also the ones we need to change. Like I say to when I see females, young girls, like, why are you attracted to this guy who's walking around with his pants where you can see his whole ass?
I don't think that she's attracted. I think she don't have no option.
No, these are kids in middle school, in high school, and it's like, that's what you're attracted to? That's what you're going for? Because in that day and age, there are...
What else she supposed to go for? Not saying that it's right. We supposed to hold the brother. I say that, like, I would never talk to someone who is with their butt out. I'm not finna do it. If I see your drawers, I think you advertising for something else. That's me. But if that's all they whole generation and they so strong for it, like, I got to show my ass. Like, it's just something they don't want to pull. It's like, you can tell them all day, it does not change. So what else is the little girl supposed to do? And all the little girls I know, they say they don't like it. They don't, some of them don't.
But if you don't date them, then maybe they'll figure out, I can't get a woman like this.
That's the premise of Charade, which is also off a Greek tragedy of where the women held their kupachin unless the brothers got right. You feel me? And a lot of us don't, because you know what it is? It's loneliness. Well, I'll deal with this piece of man instead of being by myself. But it takes us being whole people. So much of our identity as women is based off whether or not we're attractive to men. Our esteem, everything. Unless you decide, I am going to be a scholar. I'm going to be a woman of character. I'm going to be a boss. And any king shall recognize that. And that's how you move.
Can that be a lonely place?
It can be extremely. But I'd rather be lonely than be unhappy with somebody. Dealing with BS, that's unacceptable. Because this is one thing I learned in a relationship far long ago. I refuse to be with somebody and be unhappy and talk crap about them. That is a disgust. I hate when brothers be talking to me about they messed up woman. Well, you ain't shit either. What is you talking to me for? You old punk? You with a woman that ain't about nothing? You disgusting. Coochie dried up. That's how I go. You feel me? That's just what it is. So I don't like that. I don't think that you should. That just means you been there for convenience. Or you don't want to work all the way and pay all your bills. That's what I see. So, I just think that
let me ask you this, because it's turn. I didn't know. I knew you was deep, but I didn't know you was gonna go this deep. I'm getting text messages and emails, and they saying that you need to give her 2 microphones. But my thing is, sometimes, like, I work with at-risk teens out in Clayton County, and we deal with 14 to 24-year-olds, and we have some success stories, and then we have some individuals who simply don't have a clue, and some of them have they don't know who dad is. I'm talking about when I say don't know who dad is, that don't know his name, don't know where he been, where he come from, and so that aspect of their lives is missing. And then from a neutral position, I want to say it's somebody's fault about this, it's somebody's fault about that. But then I have to, as a case manager and as a anger management specialist, I have to say, you know what? How do we tell me something good about you first, and then how do we take whatever it is that you have and try to have you to get to a place of completeness. I don't have what you. I don't have a granddad. I don't have a dad. I don't have uncles in my life. I got my mama, her sister, and whatever else is coming along with wherever it is that we stay. And so I have to do the best with what I have. And then so it's hard for me to look at one of my kids and fault them for something they have not been exposed to. It's hard for me to look at them and say, you are not this because you don't do this, 1, 2, 3. You don't have your pants pulled up. You don't have no job, and every time you talk to me, on guard, bro. But this is what you've been exposed to. I can't say that you're bad for this. What I have to do, and I don't know if this is a statement or a question, what I have to do is I have to try to find a way to push some of this positiveness on you. And because of my background, sometimes I could be a tad bit aggressive. But what I've tried to learn is this, because I think that my cup is full up. So I got to figure out how to fill your cup up. That means that, you know what, I might have to listen to some future. I got to get into your world and figure out how to get you to where we need to be. And sometimes, you know what, that can consume us. When I say that can consume us, sometimes when you said that you take the problems of the world and you take responsibility of them. Last show, I said the very same thing. I said, when I look at certain things, when I look at hunger in Africa, and I've never been there, I'm gonna go there. You know what? I feel like that's my problem. So in my mind, whether it be a conscious or a subconscious thought, I'm trying to figure out how to get water over them. I don't vote, and I don't ask nobody for nothing, period. I'm responsible for that which is around me. I have a positive impact on the world. So my question is, how do we get the generation, because we have a lost generation.
But the fact that you're there, right, that you being there is giving them the opportunity, and the fact that you see what they're lacking, the fact that you are there, that is it. That is what's going to help them. That is what's going to keep them growing. And you may not see it immediately, like she said, you don't know when that seed is actually going to grow, but you've planted it. So every person that you come into contact with, whether it's an at-risk youth or your own child, the fact that you can observe that and you're speaking that life into them and you're letting them know there are other ways to live your life other than the way that they're living, that's it. You just answered your own question. You are that answer, and each of us are that answer.
So we all have a responsibility to the world.
Most definitely.
Yes.
That's why I'm like, you're doing it. We're doing it. We're having this conversation, and hopefully it'll spark, like Tupac, I'm a pocket night. I may not be the one to change the world, but I will be the one to spark the mind of the one that does. And that should just be all of us. If we want, unless you just, you don't really care, and everybody ain't supposed to care. That's another thing. Everybody ain't a leader. Some of these folks supposed to be cleaning up, goddamn. That's what I feel. After the rally, after everything else, you make sure stuff look nice. You're not a speaker. You're not a thinker like that. And it's okay.
It's okay.
It's okay. I'm supposed to think for you because that's what God ordained. But you're supposed to make all this real nice. Okay? And that's okay.
But that's helping, too.
And that's helping because I need that environment. We need to appreciate each other for what we have to offer, no matter what it is. I don't expect, my mama said, I've been an activist since I was 11. I started my first group, Students for Nonviolence. Only reason I started this group was to keep people from hitting my friend Dante in the head with dictionaries. You remember them big orange dictionaries? When the fight used to break out, I was like, they just bombard Dante with these dictionaries. But people were getting hurt too. Yeah. So I remember coming home being frustrated and folk running to the fight still. And my mama said, I ain't march, I ain't sit in, I ain't protest, but I sit at the front of the bus today. You can't worry about what some people do. You do what you're supposed to do. And that's what it is. So that's why I'm always hopeful because I go to high schools on a regular basis and middle schools and talk to kids. And for whatever reason, I have an impact. And I don't leave them there. I get numbers and they call me and we still I have 10 mentees throughout my life that still are around. I constantly get calls, people saying, when you came to my college, when you came here, I seen you, you said this, and this is what I live by. So that's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to impact each other. No matter who it is, no matter what time it is, be of God's spirit. If you don't believe in God, do you believe in good? I don't care. Do you understand me? I ain't got time for that debate. Yeah. So that's why I stay hopeful. And in the love relationship type conversation we have, it's really sad because I have these conversations with women my age and younger all the time. And it's so disheartening. And it's all about integrity. Brothers, if you want 5 wives, then have 5 wives. Be a G about it and be able to take care of it. Don't be no punk lying. Losing your crown. You can have whatever you want. First off, black people produce more females. And a lot of y'all women sharing niggas anyway. So you need to go ahead and be cool with it if you're still there. I know too many women who been with a man who got 3 women and they've been all together for several years. Yeah. But you still want to fight her when you see it at the Walmart. Girl, sit down. Y'all need to get together and say, girl, you want to get off this weekend so I can have all the kids? That's what you need to do. Keep it real. Oh, you ain't got no problem when the white folk do it in Utah when that's African tradition. And not saying that we all should do it because I'm not with it. I ain't with no second wife, no third wife.
What? And you?
I'm just saying for some people, I've never dealt with it. I'm saying you know what you can deal with.
This is what I want to say because when I brought it up last week, I did bring it up. I said, and I pointed, I was like, you know what? In my mind, this is what, because I know you feel me on some stuff. Okay, so right now, as a race, we're losing. And when I say that, I say, look, we used to be 12% of the population. We're no longer 12%, meaning we're no longer the minority.
And we're not producing.
And we're not producing. We're not producing because, no disrespect to no homosexuals, because they will blackball you. But homosexuals don't produce. The ones that I know, they don't reproduce. You see what I'm saying? Then when I start thinking about black on black crime, a lot of us are being killed. And then with the United States having the highest prison population in the world, period. So what you have is people who are not producing. In order to continuously exist, you have to reproduce. And I was like, in my mind, you should have 4 wives and you should have children by all these wives. and y'all laughed at me.
No, because you were saying one guy should go impregnate 10 women, but why can't you just have that one woman and have 10 babies with her?
More babies. We need more babies.
But a woman can keep producing. You don't have to have one child.
But this is the thing with our women,
Oh, really?
and this is real. The thing with our women, we have been trained to not have babies. We get shamed as black women having babies.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I have a problem with a lot of people having babies and can't take care of them.
But see, that's some bull because you can take care of them. Every child ain't got to have polo shoes. That's some bull in our community. I was raised on very little. My mother never made over $13,000 a year. Nothing got cut off. I never had all the freshest. I had the birthday, beginning of the school year saved up. It's called responsibility. Too many of our people are caught up in materialism and wanted to be approved by others. So then our children have adopted that same disease, and think that they always lacking, ain't got.
Well,
it's disgusting to me.
You got a book out yet?
Not yet. It's coming.
Well, it need to come so we can.
It's coming because our people are really, to me, that's why we don't have anything. You wonder why Asians are, it ain't because they got money. It's because they got integrity and they're about getting it done, about being their best self so that they can contribute for their people. We black people are the jewels of the earth. Not Africans, not Jamaicans. I'm talking about descendants of slaves, tribe of Judah, the ones that made America a superpower. Mm-hmm. We're the jewel of the earth. Everybody fantasizes and what's the word? Idolizes black people, but we won't take our crown and be an example for real. We've sacrificed for them. We've been slaves in the field. We can't sacrifice for ourselves. We can't put money into a black bank. We can't support Omar Johnson in his school. You feel me? Like, we have a lot of things that we can do, but we don't do it. We just bitch about it and complain.
I see you over there scratching the edge.
No, because I'm gonna be real cautious about what I'm saying. No, because the one thing I don't do, anything with my mentees, I don't teach black and white, because the God I serve is not a racist God, right? The God I serve is a loving God, and even my belief, Christ died for everybody, not for one person. I agree with certain things y'all say, but I disagree with a lot of things, because see, that's the problem in our community now, is that we mix in so many different personal beliefs. See, when you start teaching, when you letting young men think it's okay to be out here and have multiple women, see, that's where a lot of these problems are coming from. Now, it can be just you just saying it out loud, but see, she just said it. When you start throwing these things in the air, you start creating problems. See, we're not creating solutions. A lot of places, hold on. It's not a solution. It's not a solution, especially when you got reckless sexual lifestyles. Yeah, everybody can't take care of a child. That's just reality. Everybody cannot take. This is not the world that my grandma lived in, where you can take $5 out, $10 and go buy 3 loaves of bread, go down and get meat. This is just not the world. Everything is so expensive.
Let me ask you this.
Okay, go ahead.
Let me ask you this. Because you know what? Sometimes, and I understand your mindset, because one thing I will say about you is,
and we're talking about the reality of life.
I'm not going to touch the Bible. I'm not going to touch it at all, because I know how you feel about the Bible.
Oh, yeah.
What I can say is, with your mindset, you are consistent since the day that I've known you and for every show. Sometimes, though, when I listen to you speak, it's like life or the world is a motion picture. And what you do is you come in and you take a eloquent one, but it's a snapshot as to what's going on. And when I start thinking about, us having different wives, do you know at one particular time, I know you light-skinned, however, you are African-American. At one particular time, when we worked, you Puerto Rican.
My dad got Puerto Rican.
Okay.
So can't remove.
To have many wives, it was not something that.
Who tradition was it?
It was ours. You from Africa.
Who tradition? Did that make it right?
There's a lot of things that are traditional.
I'm just saying. Well, let me just say that, because see, sometimes even when we throw about people saying, I like what point she made, but one thing about it, everybody wasn't a king. There was other slaves. There was people who was at the lower too. You see what I'm saying? That was looked down on upon your own people. You see what I'm saying?
Sold for salt.
Okay, even before that, you still.
No, that's the beginning.
Okay, even if you move all the white folks and moved all the slavery, even in African
black
tribe,
people sold black people for salt. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, they sold to each other.
They sold us to the white people.
Even before then, they were selling each other. So,
yeah, that was servitude. But I'm not saying,
I'm
I'm
talking
not
about
what
the
I'm saying
wordplay.
is, that is, I get what you're saying. You like, don't put it in the universe that brothers should have more than one woman. I'm saying we already have brothers in the universe with more than one woman, but they're not honorable to them. Do you feel what I'm
Let me
saying?
interject something. Let me interject
That's all
something.
I'm saying. It's not what I
feel-
said for me, no.
I feel what you're saying. You're saying that if y'all already doing it, do it responsibly. Do it. If y'all are already sharing a man, then it should be out in the open. It should be transparent and say, okay, well, if it works for you, if it works for me, then we're responsible with it, and I'm with you, and I'm with you too. And I understand what you're saying as well, but I feel like when you talk about what my grandmama did and what my great-grandmama did, that's not the world we live in no more. So if you operate, and I'm not saying that's a good thing, Omar. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. What I'm saying is if you operate from the way, if you say we should operate from the way they operated in the 30s and the 40s and the 50s, then what's going on in 2015, that's not even applicable. You feel what I'm saying? You can't operate from a world that no longer exists. So who's to say those values, or I ain't gonna say value, who will say that the things that were going on then works for people now? It don't work.
And having multiple relationships, it would be okay if it was upfront and out in the open.
That's what I'm
But
saying.
what
That's what
happens
she's
is
saying.
you lie and you say you're my only one, and then you get
That only works.
the
Would you be?
women.
Would you? How would you feel about if somebody came to you and said, you know what, I plan to have sex?
No. Me personally, I'm just gonna
Okay,
put it
so
out there.
don't throw it
No, but there are females that will, and the point is, be honest, be upfront, and let that person make the decision for themselves. Because I have a feeling if you could take care of two households and you were on your job, some women would have no problem
No
with it.
problem.
But the thing is, these men ain't got no job, and all they doing is slanging.
I know
The pipe.
Like, Omar, you mentioned the animal kingdom.
What?
Oh, did you have to bring it back?
You mentioned the animal
Did you
kingdom
have to
like
bring it
a
back?
couple weeks ago. And say you got a pride of lions. There are about 10 female lions and 1 male lion. You feel what I'm saying? So even the animal kingdom teaches us if you can provide for all.
It didn't teach us that. Matter of fact, the women are doing all the
If
hunting.
you can
So,
provide for
the
all
females do the
these
hunting.
things,
He does the protecting, though. That's
like,
why he's
or like
fine.
in Islam,
And eat
if
their
you can-
food.
If in Islam, if you can provide for 3 or 4 households, then you have 3 or 4 households.
That's in Islam. That's not in Christianity.
I understand what you're saying,
Okay.
but Omar, the world, everybody's not Christian.
That ain't
I
what I'm
would
saying.
say
I'm just
Omar
standing on what I believe.
But
in.
you
I'm
know
not
what?
Christian,
Now
but it's also about culture. Go ahead.
This is
What
American
about
culture.
the Christians in Utah who have many wives?
Well,
They
just
Christian.
just
They
because
are.
Bad Christian.
but just
In Pennsylvania.
okay, but you can say you're a Christian.
They're
still-
Christians,
but you
though.
can say you're a Christian and still do a bunch of
Anyway,
stuff.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
No, but they consider
So if-
themselves
Wait a minute.
fundamentalists,
Fundamentalists.
and they
Hold
still
on.
have
Is
multiple
there anywhere in
wives.
the Bible that says you can only have one wife? It says it's better to marry than to burn. It didn't
But
say marry this one.
does it say in the
woman,
Bible
but
to
they're
have
married.
more than one wife?
Did it say to marry just one?
But see, man, now what you're doing. See,
Did it say?
now what you want. If you want to dialogue about that, we could change the whole concept.
Okay.
No, I'm- let me get back to a point because I think we're getting off the point. The point is, based on some of these kids stuff, man, we're living in generations of broken down families, man.
True.
Way before, man, even before slavery, man. As we got so slavery, it got even worse, man. Because men have always had a problem with dealing outside the person that they love. Men have had a problem with that, man. You see what I'm saying? A lot of them. I ain't saying all of them. A lot of men. A lot of men have struggled with not saying no when they see something pretty. Men have had that issue, man. See what I'm saying? So, even though you might love this person, but what if she want 100%? You can't give women you can't give each one of them 100%. There's no way.
And we're glorizing.
Because
side
one way either she
now.
gonna want it, she gonna get over aggressive, or she. So we living in a generation where we seeing the fruit of so many broken down families, man. And so now you got kids who are desensitized because they haven't learned. When we go back to our parents who had some morals and values to some degree, you see what I'm saying? Well, grandparents, man.
Dang.
Grandparents, you know what I'm talking
Not
about.
even
Lord.
What I'm saying, let's just go back.
We have delusions of grandeur in our community. I think that's a big thing in our community. Like we like grandmama and them had the grandmama, granddaddy had 5 outside kids. What is y'all talking about?
Uncle.
That's
We
what
call
I'm
it
like.
uncle, like,
You
I
know,
got
who
uncle
this
like
new
that.
nigga come around? This, you know
That's
what I'm
Uncle
saying?
Charles. That's
And then
Uncle
granddaddy come back. Uncle Charles here for 5 years, and then Uncle Anthony come back. I'm just saying that is not the truth across the board. We've always had. The biggest problem, I agree with you, brother, on that brothers don't serve God, they serve pussy. That's been the biggest downfall.
But and there's some other versions. There's some other sides of that too, because there's some women that do the same thing.
I'm with you,
See what
but
I'm
I'm saying that's been the biggest.
How do
They
we-
men
But
have
you
been.
know what I brought up.
So now
before
where's the
is,
solution?
I think back then
okay.
I
when
feel
there
we
was.
need to advocate responsibility, but
But
if
the lesson
like,
got to come from the house.
I
Though.
understand what you're saying, Omar, but if you're being responsible is I'm with this woman and I'm with this woman and we are in a committed relationship, it wouldn't work for me. But if it works for you, fine. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. It's about culture too. It's about choice.
The
Let's do
topic
this.
is
Let's
love
do
and
this.
God.
Wait.
That's not American
Listen.
culture.
That's
This
not
is what
American
we're gonna
But
do.
it is.
Listen, this is
They
what we're gonna
have
do
to
because we have other guests and we have a life coach that is gonna give us some definite ways that we can deal with some of these love definitions and the way that the world moves. You are tuned in to Instinct Radio. This is the Dainhen Butler Show.
I still want to talk. I still got
You are
something to
still
say.
talk after
Okay.
Please call in.
Take the bow tie show. The phone number is 478-569-6474. This is Instinct Radio. Stay tuned to the Dainhen Butler Show.
I'm not,
Such
you're
a-
not tuning into the very best. It's yours truly, Jazzy Fizzle. And this is In-State Radio, man. Tune in, baby. Oh, boy.